What you got? What you got?
One of these bronze things, huh?
Bronzy.
Team bronze this morning.
We're getting the smallies this morning.
Smallies and nice big striper for Steve. Yeah, baby.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, this lovely Friday morning as we edge closer and closer to Christmas. It's a gloriously beautiful morning, and there is a lot more sand going on the beach here as the replenishment is underway here in Southern California, here in Surfside. It is an absolutely gorgeous morning. And while we had some wind offshore, it's come down. It's going to be a lovely weekend. There's no wind in the forecast. Still breezy up there in the Channel Islands right now, but that's all coming down, so it should be really, really nice. We're going to talk a little bit about fishing down in Mexico. We'll talk about the Southern California bite. I have some people to thank who came by with more clothing for our efforts to send stuff down to Mexico. And of course, we are going to be talking the lobster and the surf fishing and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, a cup of coffee at this time of the morning is really, really welcome. Good to be with you. Hey, if you get a chance, please hit that like button. Deeply appreciate that. Share these videos with a friend. Also, you can subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. And also, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We deeply appreciate all of your great support throughout this great 2023 year. Well, we have got a lot to talk to you about, but first of all, last night, Danny Cadota put on another great show. Took me a little while to figure the camera out. You know, I've only been doing this for 2 years, so cut me a little slack. But go back, watch the Danny Cadota show, and he announced his special guest for tomorrow, and that's going to be a really great live show at 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. The one and only Gary Loomis will be joining us. He'll take your questions, and Danny and Gary, well, they have a history, and they're going to be telling some truly hilarious stories. So can't wait. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Saturday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a great one. I'll guarantee you that. Also, last night, Doug Tilt came by, and it was great to see our friend Doug because he has played such an integral role in what we are doing at Friedman Adventures for the last month or so. He has been a blessing in our lives. There's no question about that. Doug, it was great to see you. We had a lovely dinner with Doug upstairs. That's Danny and I, and totally enjoyed ourselves. Can't thank you enough for your kindness and generosity. Tony Cuesta, a guy from Redondo back in the 1970s. We got to hang out with Tony a little bit. That also was a lot of fun. So really a great day yesterday at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Don't forget, if you need heating and air conditioning help, John Lopez is standing by at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. 626-901-4822. Keep that in mind. All right, south of the border down in Cabo San Lucas, we continue to see some really excellent marlin fishing. The striped marlin bite down there at the Cape has been good. There's a few blue marlin kicked in there, occasional dorado, some really good yellowfin tuna fishing, and an occasional skin or two, wahoo that is. That's been pretty darn good down there in that neck of the woods. Bahia Gonzaga Bay, Steve and Leanna Walker were there and had a variety of different species. Gonzaga Bay is just a beautiful place to fish. It is absolutely gorgeous in the Baja, California peninsula. Highly recommend the drive there. It is gorgeous. And as you can see, the fishing is outstanding. The Ensenada area, which is 70 miles below our border here in California, they 70 miles below Tijuana, let's say. And that bite has been really good if you're looking for big bonita and rockfish. I mean, the bonita are breezing around. You see those foamers of bonehead down around Santo Tomas and other areas. It has been spectacular. And I mean, the guys that are out, Arnie Sport Fishing, our friends at Blackfin Sport Fishing, Louis Prieto from It's For Reels Sport Fishing, all of those guys have been finding outstanding fishing on not only the Bonita, but also some really excellent rock fishing down there. In the Punta Banda area, that rugged, pristine, beautiful coastal region of Baja, California, also producing some calico bass. Wintertime bass are a little more lethargic, but it's been pretty good for guys who focus in on that long range. We continue to see great variety and excellent fishing for all the guys on those 8 to 11 day trips. Let's call them the fall bite as we move closer to wintertime is really excellent down there. And this is the time of the year when you're on one of those long range trips out of San Diego where you experience that great variety. I mean, wahoo and yellowfin tuna and dorado and some spectacular marlin bites and so much more. Big yellowtail. It has been fantastic down there. Jim Odlum was on board the Intrepid, and Jim fishes a lot of long range, and he said this has to be one of the best long range trips I have ever been on. He raved about it. You can see the variety he had there. He wanted to make sure that the captain and crew, Sam Moore, the captain of the Intrepid, and the crew got a big pat on the back for providing such great customer service, as well as putting them on some memorable fishing bites. So that sounds like it was indeed another great one. You got to love that long range trip. I can't wait for our November trip. We've got one next November. I'm already looking ahead out of San Diego on board the Independence. And we just added a 3-day trip, which I'd love to see you on. That's going to be fun. April 6th through the 9th. 3 days on the Independence. The food is so good. The crew is so excellent. The fishing should be fabulous. It's going to be 3 days with Friedman Adventures. I'll be there to shoot you in a video. It's going to be an absolute blast. So keep that in mind. I can't wait for that one. April the 6th to the 9th. Book at independentsportfishing.com before it's too late. You know, one thing that is still going on is the amount of market squid that's around right now. It is absolutely phenomenal. As you see Aaron Graham and Mike Morrison scooping away on that squid, it has been prolific. And there's squid from the Channel Islands down to below the border. We hear about squid now off Salsipuedas and other areas at the Baja coast, at the islands, on the local scene in the Channel Islands. And that is a magnet, my friends. It's part of the food chain. The big ones will come to eat the little ones. That's the food chain. Really, really plays out every single year. But you need a food source, and we've got it. And it also is what's holding our bluefin tuna here right now. We had a little bit of nasty weather out there on the banks, but it has calmed down. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. If you're headed out for bluefin on Tanner, Cortez, 43, the 60-mile bank, any of those notes, you're going to have really nice weather. And hopefully you're going to have a trip like the Polaris Supreme recently just completed. A 2-day trip with 60 bluefin, 7 yellowfin. Pretty darn good as we're bearing down on Christmas. You have a variety in terms of the size of fish, like that 10 to 30 pound fish is around, that 30 to 50 pound stuff is around, that 100 plus pound stuff is around. There's nighttime fishing, there's daytime fishing. You need some good weather. The lack of coverage is a problem at times. That means that there's just not that many boats out there, so it's harder to find where the fish are exactly. But if you get on them, you've got a really good chance. Nighttime fishing, 2-speed reels, 100 to 130 pound spectra, the metered colored line so you know the depth of your lure. Drop when the captain tells you to drop to the exact depth he tells you. And hang on, baby. Put your safety belts on because it is good at times. Unbelievable, the fishery we have here in SoCal right now. Our bluefin tuna bite is spectacular. Up and down the coast, we continue to see some pretty good calico bass fishing. Depends upon where you shop, but San Diego's had some of that. Dana Wharf, for sure, has been in on that calico bass fishing. Marina Del Rey and Redondo up there in the Santa Monica Bay, some good sand and calico bass fishing. Yesterday, releasing fish, keeping fish. That nighttime twilight bite should be excellent tonight because you're going to have great weather and that fish has been biting. Remember, fluorocarbon is a must. It's abrasion resistant, and you're fishing really nasty neighborhoods, rocky areas, shipwrecks, that kind of stuff. So the fluoro will help to get you a bite and also will be abrasion resistant, and that is so important. You have to pull hard when you get a bite on a nighttime bass because they come out of their hole, they come out of their shipwreck, bite your bait, and go right back in there. So the minute they bite your bait, you better get some line in a hurry or they will saw you off. They're nasty little critters, let me tell you. So some pretty good bass fishing. Rock fishing has been excellent up and down the coast. It's been great from down there in Ensenada all the way up to the Channel Islands and beyond that, all the way up to Monterey. If you wanted to fish out with some big lings up there in that neck of the woods and everywhere else. And don't forget, in Southern California, our rockfish season will close on January the 1st. So you definitely want to get your licks in while you can. Ventura Sport Fishing. They keep fishing that stuff and they keep getting them. And I'm telling you, you don't get to fish on the Endeavor all that much. So you can jump on with Tucker McCombs. Give him a call. Find out his open party trips availability and get on the Endeavor before it's too late because he's going to be back into spring real soon and have no trips available. 805-676-3474 to get on board with them. Halibut fishing. Well, the Pride has been really doing such a great job this year. They are based out of 22nd Street Landing. It's at Pedro, California. Their last trip, I think they had 35 halibut, legal halibut. I mean, those guys fish hard. They get the intel, and it's been really fantastic fishing for them. I haven't seen a whole lot of big fish, but legal halibut, 35. I remember a time when you would have suggested somebody catch that many halibut, they would have scoffed at you. And now it's a reality, and it's a reality now. We do get a second spawn in SoCal on halibut around this time of year, but our big bite normally takes place in the springtime, although we see it in the winter also, and they're just going to keep right on rolling. We're going to see some great fishing for halibut, white sea bass, and you name it as we move up on the springtime of 24 because of the magnet, the food chain that I described to you, all that squid that is here. It's going to attract sea bass and halibut and a myriad of other predators into the SoCal region, so it should be great. By the way, I will have a few more dates for you on our charters, but we are running a reverse 2.5-day trip on the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing in, I want to say May, I think it is, June? I think it's June. It is June. That should be, I mean, a reverse 2.5-day trip that's got bluefin written all over it, white sea bass written all over it, halibut written all over it, rockfish written all, I mean, the opportunities and options should be endless on that trip. And those dates will be coming out here shortly. Don't forget Gary Loomis tomorrow, Saturday, 4 p.m. live, right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Some other folks that have been in on the halibut bite, you can see Jessica Christopher Nassif in the background there with a nice flatty, beautiful catch. Jessica, Tony Wiggins with a nice halibut also. The flatties are definitely around, and they're in the surf. Also, we see some pretty darn good halibut fishing in the surf. Fishing lucky crafts or a little chrome crocodile. A lot of guys like to snag live bait and fish that. Other guys drop shot it. I'll tell you, man, all those are effective methods to take flatties in the surf. So that is something also that you can do, and who wouldn't want to do it on a day like this? It's flat, beautiful here in Southern California. RK Toji catching barred perch in the surf also. Barred perch fishing's been pretty darn good. Maybe not the biggest barred perch we've seen this season, but darn good action. A lot of fun. Honey badger baits work really, really good. If you can find a sand crab, that'll work, but they're tough to come by this time of the year. And sometimes those fish, the barred perch that is, will bite a small chrome jig like a Castmaster, or even the crocodile at times. Remember, if you need any of that tackle, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They're open today. They open up early. They may go to some kind of a Christmas schedule at some point in time, but for right now, the weather's great. The surf fish are biting, and Big Fish has not only your surf fishing tackle, but they've got all the big game tackle that you need. And the most important thing is, at your surf fishing headquarters for Southern California, they've got a variety of the baits that will make you successful fishing in the surf. It is so much fun. I love surf fishing. You working around your work schedule, get out in the great outdoors, breathe some fresh air, catch a fish maybe, and just have an enjoyable time. It's great for kids It's great for the whole family. It's a fishing activity. Many times we'll leave our families and go fishing. It's a fishing activity. You can bring the whole family because they can do the beach stuff while you're fishing. And what is wrong with that? I ask you. Hey, I've got to mention a couple of guys. John Garma. John's a great guy. He caught that giant bluefin with us this year on board the Amigo. That was such a stirring moment. John brought down a ton of clothing and some baby chairs for automobiles that we're going to ship down to Mexico. And Joey Sacamano. Joey, it was so good to spend time with you. And John Woodrum came by and we shared some old times. Joey brought down, among other things, a whole bunch of baseball gloves and catching equipment and baseball stuff and clothing and so much more. You guys have my thanks. Hey, we are still raising money to send all that stuff to Mexico, and we definitely need your help. There is a link in the show description. You can click on it and donate to our GoFundMe page. The shipping costs have gone way up this year, just like everything else. So if you can help, it would be deeply appreciated. $5, $100, whatever you can give. You're not in a position to give, don't even worry about it. So if you could do that in the show description, that would be great. And if you've given and you know a friend that you could share it with, man, that would be great. Copy and paste it and send it over, and we'll keep those donations rolling in. All right. Also, lobster fishing, it's been great over there at Catalina Island. There's some local bugs also. Good friend of mine, Matt Schlurf, had some lobster. I think he had 3 legals. So he brought those home, and Janan, his wife, is like, yeah, go lobster fishing more often, lobster hoop netting. So that is great stuff. Remember, you can get 10% off all your lobster stuff by going to promarahi.com. Put in Friedman 10 at checkout for that 10% discount, and that will do you really, really well. So excellent fishing going on, no question about it. Santa Ana River Lakes, our good friend Kevin Kaiser has a huge event tomorrow. Bring an unwrapped toy, and you'll get a raffle ticket. There's going to be raffles, there's going to be contests, there's going to be so much more. Go to Santa Ana River Lakes and help Kevin accomplish his lofty goals in helping children at Loma Linda Hospital. He is a great guy. I might even drop in tomorrow. I'll do my very, very best. I have to be at 22nd Street Landing in the late morning, so I'll see if I can't get over there and see Kevin and the folks over there. It's going to be a great day. Santa Ana River Lakes, no question about it. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you. There's still some really good fishing. There's lobster, there's surf fishing. Those bluefin have not gone anywhere. The long range scene, the Baja scene, it's all really, really great. And we're moving up on Christmas in SoCal, where I can feel the warmth of this beautiful sun on my face. We are so blessed. Of course, yesterday we remembered those who lost their lives on Pearl Harbor Day. We keep them in our mind. It was the first day of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to everyone, and blessings to you all. All right, have a great day, my friends. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.